What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary promoter, top ranked CEO, Bob Arum, Hall of Fame promoter, he weighs in and gives his thoughts and clarifies a few misconceptions that has been taking place with one of his fighters, an Olympic silver medalist, undefeated two-division world champion, former unified super featherweight WBC WBO world champion, now lightweight superstar title contender, Shakur Stevenson, who is 20 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. He is 26 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach, and he's a southpaw. The negotiations fell through for Shakur Stevenson to face off against undefeated lightweight star title contender Frank the Ghost Martin. Frank Martin is 18 wins, no losses, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach, and he too is a southpaw. So their physical gifts and physical attributes are the exact identical stature. Okay, they're both 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach, and they're both southpaws and athletically gifted. With that said, they were in a negotiations that initially was a purse bid to face off for the vacant WBC title, okay, that has been vacated by undefeated, undisputed lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney. Okay, Devin Haney is 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. Devin Haney is now moving up to junior welterweight to challenge two-time junior welterweight world champion superstar boxer Regis Ruguru Prograis December 9th for his WBC title. So Devin Haney is leaving the division. So Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson was in negotiations, and it fell through. Now, we know Frank Martin is signed to Man Down Promotions, which is created by former unified three-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Errol the Truth Spence Jr. So when these negotiations fell through, everybody placed blame on Errol Spence Jr. They stated that Errol Spence and Frank Martin, they dropped the ball. Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin was scheduled to fight November 16th in Las Vegas, okay, for the vacant WBC title. They both were handpicked by the WBC, World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman, board of 32 members, to fight for the vacant WBC title that's been vacated again by Devin Haney. They were ordered to go to a purse bid September 5th, but that fell through because it was pushed to the side because Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson came to an agreement, and they both agreed to the terms, and the purse bid was no longer necessary. So, with that said, Frank Martin was scheduled to make $1 million for this fight, 4 times the amount of his biggest payday, which was $250,000. And he was going to fight for his first opportunity at a world title, and he was going to fight a marquee fighter in Shakur Stevenson. This is Shakur Stevenson, who was a 3-time world champion and a unified world champion. So this is Shakur Stevenson's 3rd division and 4th title attempt. Okay, for Frank Martin, it's his first time making $1 million, first time fighting for a world title, first time in a marquee fight, and Frank Martin pulled off the unthinkable. He pulled out the fight. And when I say pulled off the unthinkable, because you don't view Frank Martin as somebody who would turn down any type of smoke or any type of fight. That's just not who Frank Martin is, correct? You just don't view Frank Martin as somebody to pull out of a fight. And Frank Martin, he then explained that the reason he pulled out was because the money disparity. Okay, he saw that Shakur Stevenson was getting a completely different amount than he was, and he wasn't happy. He asked for more money. They was not willing to oblige, so he pulled out the fight. And Many people view it, including myself, as Frank Martin's team, they dropped the ball. Because going into this negotiations, as Frank Martin stated, he was made aware that if he took a percentage, he wouldn't get more than $1 million. So he decided that he would do away with the percentage and go with the $1 million flat fee. But his team didn't do their due diligence. They didn't do their homework to see what was the pot. $1 million of what? Okay. So they didn't do their homework. And so because they didn't do their homework, okay, Frank Martin was left out in the cold because he didn't know what was in the pot. And so once he was made aware, he felt slighted and he pulled out. And so because he signed to Man Down Promotions, the first big name fighter to sign to Man Down Promotions with Errol Spence, well, everybody blamed Errol Spence and said, well, Errol Spence dropped the ball. To which Bob Arum, he confirmed with me right here on this platform. Bob Arum stated Errol Spence didn't drop the ball because we weren't never negotiating with Errol Spence. We were directly negotiating with TGB, Tom Brown Promotions, and Tom Brown. We were never negotiating with Errol Spence. So essentially, I asked Bob Arum, I said, did you have any kind of conversation with Errol Spence in negotiations for this fight? And he said, absolutely not. We solely was dealing with Tom Brown. So it looks like Tom Brown is the overseer and Errol Spence is the figurehead for Man Down Promotions. Okay. And Tom Brown being an experienced promoter, being in the business a trillion times more than Errol Spence, they're doing it on behalf of Errol Spence. Okay. And so with that said, it's similar to Mayweather Promotions, where you have Leonard Ellaby, CEO of Mayweather Promotions. Leonard Ellaby does the negotiations, along with, I'm sure, Tom Brown and Al Heyman, who's the PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor. So Tom Brown is doing the legwork for Errol Spence. As Bob Arum stated, they haven't talked to Errol Spence about a negotiation. So this clears any blame that has been placed on Errol Spence, because we know that Frank Martin is signed to Man Down Promotions and Errol Spence. So when you hear that Frank Martin and his team dropped the ball in these negotiations, and then all people automatically blame Errol Spence for this lack of awareness when it came to the amount of money that was in the pot before they agreed to anything. And Shakur Stevenson and Bob Arum confirmed that everything that they stated was legit because Frank Martin confirmed what they said. He said that he was offered $1 million. He did agree to all the terms. He just was not aware of what the pot was until Shakur Stevenson, like Shakur Stevenson said, he reached out to Frank Martin and they talked on via social media. And Frank Martin confirmed that they did talk. And once Shakur Stevenson told him the number he was getting compared to the number he was getting, he was not happy. He felt slighted. He felt like he was being taken advantage of. So he asked for more money. And like Frank Martin said, they could have easily obliged and gave him more money, but they chose not to. So since they chose not to, he chose not to fight Shakur Stevenson. Now Shakur Stevenson is going to fight Edwin De Los Santos. Also, Edwin De Los Santos is with the PBC. I'm sure that was negotiated with, again, Tom Brown. Okay, and they're going to fight. Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson are going to now fight November 16th in Las Vegas in replace of Frank Martin. So let's see how this all unfolds and plays out. But again, this just completely clears Errol Spence of any wrongdoing because, like Bob Arum stated, Errol Spence wasn't involved in the negotiations. They weren't having contact and conversations and negotiations with Errol Spence. It was all Tom Brown, okay? Which is confusing because Tom Brown is a vet, and Tom Brown is, a savvy vet at that. So I'm shocked that they weren't aware of what the pot was before they agreed to everything. So let's see what's next for Frank Martin, as it looks like he could be fighting on Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford undercard. Who knows? But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.